Hello, Soul Family. Thank you for joining for today's live event. Today's main topic will be what is happening in general, energetically, but also on the physical level. What is happening in the astral, and how does all of this affect us in our day-to-day lives, basically. And also, the second and most exciting part of this transition is that also please send in your questions. If you're listening to the replay, then you can add your questions in the comment section and I will do my best to respond to them. So I welcome everyone to today's transmission. I am sending you much love from Transylvania. You can also please write in, where are you from? Where are you from listening to us? Today we're not going to do a meditation. Also, I was guided to mention that also last week and the week before that, we were doing transmutational meditation. We were doing meditations with the violet flame. The first one, which was 2 weeks ago, was more of a global transmutation, calming energies within, but also transmitting and assisting others with that specific energy, basically. And also I wanted to focus more on the growth of self, basically, last week. My original intent was that we were going to do a transmutation for ourselves, for personal healing and transformation, but it didn't came through like that. So we did one last week, which was more for personal growth and transmuting all density, fear, and doubt within yourself, within your auric field, because we're all attracting and absorbing a lot of energies. Regardless of what you're doing, we're also immersed in the collective, and the collective and also Mother Earth is going through a lot right now. And also on a personal level, we as well. So we have to be very mindful of what is happening and how does this affect us and how can we navigate it. And I wish for today for this to be the main topic of how to navigate it and what the hell is actually happening. Because a lot of things are happening energetically. I'm also going to share what I've been experiencing for the past 2 weeks. This especially started to intensify during the Lion's Gate, and it didn't really subside in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, we had Lion's Gate exactly 2 weeks ago on August the 8th. It's the 8-8 portal. And yeah, things started to intensify very much so in that from beginning with that period. I don't think that it subsided. So everything is amplifying even more than usual. And I also think Mercury is in retrograde. I'm also not very good in astrology. I've just seen people talk about it. And I also, if I remember correctly, high vibration, send me some links and images of Mercury is going retrograde. Some other types of alignments are also happening. And of course, our beloved sun is bombarding us with some high vibrational rays, which manifests in the physical as solar flashes, solar storms. We're receiving a lot of magnetic storms, which is also messing with the magnetic field of the Earth. It can disrupt communications, the electromagnetic grid, the communications grid, electronics, and of course our bodies as well, because we're also pretty much water, and our nervous system is electrically based. I don't know how to express that correctly, but basically how our nervous system works is it's sending electric impulses through our body, and this is how it communicates and does stuff, basically. So also our physical body is immensely affected by what is happening, and this can manifest through many different types of symptoms. In general, just being super tired, fatigue, especially pressure in the head. Some people can also experience ringing in the ears, toothache, tooth problems, hip issues, joint issues coming back up. Also, if you're in general experiencing joint issues and problems with your bones, or just in general stuff like that, this can amplify. And even though if maybe you're not struggling with such a condition, it may come back up and intensify. How I interpret and see these things is that like in an ideal state, like your body is able to like keep things in check. Like our bodies are constantly, I wouldn't say like suppressing, but kind of they're suppressing like inflammation, different types of viruses, like bacterias in our body, because we're constantly being exposed to a lot of impulses and things that can be harmful to us, like not in a very big degree, but we're constantly being exposed to different types of viruses, bacteria, like just if you're just interacting with a person, you're sharing each other's viruses and bacterias with each other. So which can be a good thing, because like it's strengthening your immune system, because like if you don't have if you're not exposing yourself to anything and you're like isolating yourself in a bubble, then your nervous system can become lazy and it doesn't have anything to work through and stress itself about to be stronger. So yeah, like, so that can be a good thing, but also, yeah, like we have different types of conditions in our body as well. Like I think all of us are experiencing inflammation to a certain extent for various reasons. Like that is very common. Also, yeah, like the electromagnetic frequencies can build up in the body because we're constantly exposed to, yeah, like electromagnetic radiation. Like you have phones, TVs. I mean, we're talking through the internet right now. We have Wi-Fi. I have my PC and all your appliances in the house, not to mention like, I know, like phone towers and all that stuff. And also Wi-Fi, like especially if you live in an apartment complex, you probably have like 6 or 12 Wi-Fi signals overlapping. You just have to turn your phone on and like see what's out there, what it's receiving. And also your body's receiving the same radiation and exposure as well. So that can also affect our body very much so, especially sleeping. So, and also regenerative capabilities, because all these electromagnetic frequencies, like they're bombarding our nervous system and our brains. And when you go to sleep, or at least you try to sleep, you have to go, I think it's called the REM state, when you're like going into a regenerative state of sleeping, when you're actually doing some real resting and regeneration. But since you're completely bombarded by these frequencies, then your brain is just not capable of properly like letting go, calming down, and like slowing down and going down into that deep state of relaxation where you can actually properly regenerate. So this can be a huge factor in why you can feel tired and drained, because simply your body is unable to properly rest and regenerate. So to like remedy that electromagnetic stuff, there are different types of devices. Like I don't have anything on me. Oh, but I do. Wait a sec. Like you can use like orgonite. Like this is a black orgonite pyramid. It has a black shungite crystal in it, clear quartz. I think it has iron powder and also brass powder. And the whole thing is like held together by, I think it's called epoxy resin or something. So basically all those powders are like mixed up in epoxy resin, and they like put into a mold, and then the mold is broken and you get a beautiful orgonite pyramid. Of course it can come in different shapes and sizes. Like I have this in my pocket constantly, or you can have like a metal, like it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't say like it helps 100%, but it really, really helps to like lighten what you're going through. Like I'm completely used to it now, so I don't really feel the difference. But when I first got them, I could like really feel that shift in my body, that like that pressure in my chest especially just like went away, and I felt a lot better. I think I'm going to sneeze. So okay. False alarm. So let's see what else is happening. But yeah, like regarding sleep and electromagnetic frequencies, like that is also a condition that your body is trying to overcome so you can properly function. And in order to do that, it has to devote a specific amount of its daily energy to overcome that specific outside interference so it can function properly. And maybe in general, if like nothing big is happening and you're okay, everything is ideal, then your body is able to properly suppress all those outside interferences that are like bombarding you and like trying to make you sick, and you can function relatively well, basically. But when something like a geomagnetic storm or solar flares, some types of alignments or like huge shifts are occurring, like that challenges our system even more, because we're forced to shift. We're receiving all those high vibrational rays, which is shifting our bodies, our consciousness, and basically just how we function. And that's just too much in certain cases for our bodies. Like in the cases if you're struggling with a lot of health conditions and problems in your life, and on top you're also receiving these huge activations that can be very challenging for the body. So the best way to navigate this is to like rest as much as you can, like take care of yourself as much as you can. Like it's super essential at this time. Like that doesn't mean that you don't have to be like proactive and do stuff, but like put a time aside for yourself to like slow down as much as possible. Like it's not possible all the time, I know. I have a very busy life as well. But yeah, like when you're sensing that like these times are like coming up, that you know that you have to like slow down a bit, like take a step back and just try not to rush things. Also like Mercury retrograde and all these like these retrograde alignment stuff, like everyone is like suggesting that like these periods are not really good for starting new things. So don't start like huge projects or like do a lot of stuff. Like you can complete things and like slow a bit down and like reflect. Like these times are great for reflection. Like contemplation of like where you are, who you are, like where are you going, and all these very cheesy stuff that are super important at this time. And yeah, like use these times to rest if possible, but really like take a step back and like try to spend more time with yourself. Try to spend more time in nature, which is like super helpful in grounding and like releasing all that stuff that is accumulated in our bodies. Try to go out to nature, do something with the soil, or just like take a walk in the park, sit beneath a tree. You don't have to hug it, but you can if you want to. But yeah, like do something outside, like interact with nature as much as possible during these times, because we're receiving a lot of radiation from the sun, which represents masculine energy. So basically we're receiving a lot of masculine energy. In order to balance that out more properly, then interact with more feminine energy, which is in this case Mother Earth. Okay, so let's see what's happening in the chat, because I was not paying attention. So hello everyone again, thank you for joining. I'm sending lots of love to everyone who has just joined. I'm talking to you from Transylvania. Please write in, where are you from? Okay, so we have Coco. You're listening from California. Of course, we have a lot of people from beautiful sunny California. And we have Victoria from Virginia. Millijan, hello from Madeira, I think. Yes, I would really have to look it up where that is. We also have Kathy from Connecticut. I'm not sure if I read that correctly. Thank you for joining. We also have Ben Loomis, and we have Jenny. Thank you for joining, Jenny. Hello there, lovely people. You're from Bellingham, Washington. Thank you for joining. Yes, and also, Ben, I shifted a lot during the Lion's Gate. All my chakras completely opened up. Yeah, like, it can totally happen. And also, like, regarding, like, balancing out chakras and, like, working with them, I know, like, there's a lot of information on, like, and not just information, but just like videos and meditation to like open your crown chakra or open your third eye in 3 minutes. And be very careful with those stuff. Like I don't recommend it, because like all these activations and openings of different energetic centers will happen naturally as you progress on your journey. Just as Ben mentioned that during the Lion's Gate, he felt I'm not sure. You felt this type of activation of like all your energy centers opening up and being activated. So that is something that you could keep in mind. And also, yeah, like especially if you had just your awakening experience and just this is like you're at the beginning phases of like experiencing the energetic realms or astral travel, or you're getting used to using your empathic abilities, sensing energies, maybe seeing stuff or receiving subtle energies and information, then it can be very tempting to like do these types of meditations or activations to open your third eye in 2 minutes. You just have to do this practice once or something. Like it doesn't mean that it won't work, but maybe it will like open you up to a certain level that you're not ready for at that time. Like I also had that, although I was not seeking out any of those types of activations, but it still happened. Like when I reached and like jumped to another level, I think it was in 2020 or so. Like I had different various experiences with ET consciousness. Like most of my guides are ETs, higher dimensional beings. And yeah, like we were doing a meditation together, and we were doing a type of practice of like synchronizing our energies. Basically, I was harmonizing my bodily energy with his bodily energies and energetic system, because we are very similar energetically, of course, appearance wise, and there are subtle differences between us depending on like what species you're talking about. But in general, down to the core basics of our energetics, we can be very similar. And I was doing a type of practice, I think for the third time or so, with one of my guides of like harmonizing our energy centers. And it basically opened me up to like experiencing and seeing things how they experience and see it, like in a far more open way. And I was starting to receive a lot more information, like through all of my senses. And it started to become very overwhelming after like 2 days or so. Like I was having difficulty sleeping because like it didn't matter. I always sleep with earplugs, for example, because I sleep in a very light level, and I can wake up to any little noise. So I use earplugs, and it didn't matter that I used earplugs, and it didn't matter that I closed my eyes. I could like still hear a lot of things. I could still see even better than with my physical eyes. I could like see all around me, like all the things that were happening, and like energies moving in and out of the house, and beings coming in and moving out of the house. And yeah, it just started to be very overwhelming because I just couldn't relax in that state. So I tried to tone it down and like balance it out. So all those like higher sensory perceptions only come up when I actually want to access them, because they can be very overwhelming. And in some cases they can be even scary, because now you're able to perceive things that you were not able to perceive so far. Maybe you're simply not ready to face certain things or certain conditions in your life or your environment, which was already there, but simply it was like outside of your realm of perception. So always be wary of like what you're opening yourself. No, to what are you opening up yourself to, basically. Yes, and also Ben, a lot of sleep issues, sadly. Yeah, like that has been a constant for the past 2 weeks. I think it was last Wednesday. Yes, last Wednesday. I mean, in general, it was the case almost each night, but especially like last Wednesday and Thursday, like on the 24th and 25th, we had some very intense nighttime experiences, like not just me. I'm also privileged like to work on a day-to-day basis with like people across Europe. So I can see that the things that are affecting us here are also affecting people like in other countries or like thousands of kilometers away. And yeah, like a lot of sleep issues coming in, especially very vivid dreams. And not just dreams of like when I say a dream, that's almost like when you're like watching some weird stuff happening on TV, maybe. Like you're not an active participant in it, you're just like, your subconscious is like venting things that it has accumulated during the day, or you're just like working on in general. And all those subconscious things come up as like abstract visuals or symbolic events that you're witnessing, but that's the only thing that you're just passively observing them. But when you're actually interacting with that higher reality, and also when you're able to perceive yourself in that specific experience, I know, like just as in the physical, that you are experiencing it through your first person view. Like you can look down and you can like see your hands, some cases even your body, and you're able to like interact with stuff in that reality. And you're like far more conscious than during the dream state, basically. And many of these like very conscious astral experiences happened. I wouldn't say necessarily like prophetic stuff, but it was like very much in relation to conditions and like states of relationships in our lives, and also like the state of health that like not just me but also like people in the family that I know. I just like they just came up that hey, like they're struggling with something that I didn't know that it was really happening to them, and like they came up in a very, very vivid and strong way. And I also were able to like retain that information when I woke up, which in most cases, like a lot of stuff can happen during these experiences. But oh, it's so strange that everything's in reverse on the computer. Yeah, but I think like all of us had this experience that like I don't know, like you have an out of body experience, you're dreaming about something, and it's like super clear, and oh, I'm going to remember this, because it's almost like watching a movie, and you like wake up and it's all of it is just gone. Then the only thing that remains is that I know that something has happened, but I can't really recall it consciously. And the weird stuff was that like all these things, I was able to like recall them consciously, and not just me, but also my wife. And also it was on last Wednesday, like we had like a very shitty night of sleep. Like that's the best way to say. A lot of waking up, a lot of just like rolling around in the bed, like in this like half asleep state. You feel like you're awake, but you're kind of sleeping, but not really. And you're like seeing all these like weird abstract stuff coming in your mind. And yeah, like when we woke up, it was, yeah, like we didn't feel very well. We felt very like drained. We didn't talk about it immediately, but it was very interesting that like she wanted to discuss it with me. Like what she experienced and what she has seen. It was very interesting that we have experienced mostly the same thing, or at least it was in the same theme. We didn't experience it through the same lens, but we pretty much saw and experienced the same thing. It also was very, very interesting. I'm not going to go into details, but maybe one time we will. Okay, so yeah, like that was happening. And also in general, like most of the nights, just like a lot of sleeplessness, difficulty going to sleep, waking up after like, I don't know, you go to sleep somehow and you wake up in like 1 or 2 hours and your mind is just like, and it's just like racing. It's like your mind is like super busy and you just like can't calm down. And it takes another 2 hours to go back to sleep 2 hours again. And yeah, it's not very restful. Yeah. So yeah, so let's see, Jenny. Lot of sleep issues, yes. Most aches, pains, and illnesses stem from inflammation somewhere in the body, yes. If you find ways to reduce or get rid of inflammation, you can heal yourself, yeah. Yeah, like inflammation can be caused by a lot of stuff. I'm going to get a sip of water. And it's like probably the #1 issue that we're facing right now. And I think I can also like, if you don't address it, it can like evolve into cancer, I think. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a specialist, but I think that's what I heard in various places. And basically like inflammation is accumulated tension and stuff, gunk, dense stuff in your body that accumulates at certain parts. And it can manifest itself as this type of inflammation, or there's like a certain pressure at a point in your body, or something is like simply not functioning in a balanced way. And whenever that happens, whenever it comes up, like pay attention to it. I think you can do a lot of, I don't know, like medical exams of like determining where is the problem, like where is it coming from, and like always pay attention to it because your body is trying to tell you something. Like it depends on where in your body this comes up, that usually your body trying to send you a message that, hey, you're struggling or having difficulties in a certain area of your life, or you have to pay attention to a certain aspect of your life. Maybe you're consuming something or you're exposing yourself to something that your body is no longer able to handle. Or maybe you're going through some type of emotional issue, I know, like, or how you see yourself, in your body, how do you feel in your body, your own relationship with your body. Like, yeah, like these can cause some really, really profound issues in our physical body as well. And yeah, like the one of the best ways to reduce it, of course, there are like a lot of herbs and supplements that you can take that reduce inflammation. Like look it up. They're like stuff that you can like put in your food. Like, for example, I think also in India, there are like a lot of spices and herbs that they use in general that like reduce inflammation. And also the best way to reduce that is to release the built up tension in our bodies. Like just as we were talking about it previously, electromagnetic frequency, our body absorbs electromagnetic frequency, or EMF in other words. And naturally, like we conduct electricity, we conduct a lot of energy. Like our body is a channel, a vessel for energy, like for energy to flow through in and out. And that's its main purpose basically. But yeah, like we are constantly receiving energy, but also it also has to leave our system. Like just as when you're inhaling, you have to exhale, or when you're drinking or consuming something, that also has to leave your body at a certain point. We cannot accumulate over and over and over again, because like it just, we will simply, our whole system would collapse. And it's the same way energetically as well. Like we are constantly exposing ourselves to different types of impulses. Like this can be electromagnetic frequencies, which also accumulate in the body. And the best way to release it is like to interact with nature. It's also called earthing, like all electric systems and the electric grid has earthing in order to function properly. And also our bodies function very much the same way. Like we were built to interact with Mother Earth, or like, yeah, like to walk bare feet basically, or just simply touch the soil to interact with nature, to like release all that built up energy in our bodies. Because like just as with like I know, like overeating or consuming stuff that your body is unable to release or use up, like what will our bodies do? It will store that specific energy or food or supplement or whatever, which will cause problems in the long run. So be very much wary of that. So Sarah Janey, thank you for joining. I love laying outside on the grass for hours a day if I can. It makes such a difference. Yes. Yeah, like if you can go out, especially that it's summer, especially in the northern hemisphere, like try to spend as much time outside as you can. It really, really helps. Like I also try to arrange my day in a certain way that I spend a lot more time outside. Also interact with the sun, like receiving a lot of sunlight is superb. Of course, like not overexposing yourself during like peak hours, like burning yourself or getting a heat exhaustion, like moderately, being very responsible with it. But yeah, like interact with the sunlight during early hours or in the afternoon when it's like not that super hot. I also, while we're home, I'm usually bare feet, and I only wear shorts, and I walk around the house and outside like that, like absorbing the sun. And it's great. I really, really enjoy. I really can feel my energy levels and my mood is really good. I feel very good. And the interesting thing is that I like no longer, I don't have burn, it doesn't burn my skin. So that's very beneficial. Although in the past it did. I'm not sure what has changed, or maybe my body has adapted or changed because I was very sensitive to it in the past. But also, like, on a very small note, like regarding the sun, like the sun is sending us these beautiful rays, high vibrational rays, which we need in order to live. Like, of course, like our planet would freeze if the sun wouldn't be warming us up, but that's just like on the surface level. Like the sun is transmitting a lot of high vibrational rays to us, like life force energy to us, which we can receive into ourselves. Like Mother Earth herself is receiving those higher codes in her body and is like sending it out to all her children and all living beings who are part of her. Like this is how we live. This is how we evolve and transform. This is how evolution happens, for example, now as well. Like the sun is sending us new codes. Mother Earth is like receiving those new codes inside of her being, and she is like shifting her children, shifting all of her children to adapt to the new codes that we're receiving from the sun. And of course, that can be very taxing on our energy and our, I don't know, like our physical well-being, because it can be very stressful, and that's where all the fatigue is coming from, because slowly we're transforming and adapting to a higher vibrational way of being. And I think like just look up, there are like certain, I don't know, like short videos regarding like the benefits of sunlight or vitamin D, why it is super important, and like why, I don't necessarily why, but like how in the past, I don't know, like 80 years, like modern medicine and research has like try to like steer us away as much as possible from exposing ourselves to sunlight, even though like 100 years ago, like doctors were like recommending like sun therapy for certain types of health issues, mental issues as well. Like exposing yourself to more sunlight can improve your mood, your mental well-being. It can also strengthen your bones and joints. It can also help you get rid of skin issues, which is like a super huge thing. And yeah, like it can also help you get rid of, I think it also in certain research, like get rid of cancer, for example. For example, like skin cancer appears in parts of the body which are normally not exposed to sunlight. So there you go, the bullshit of like the sun will give you cancer. So yeah. Yeah, like there was this like I don't know, like this program or like this incentive to like steer people away from exposing themselves to the sun. Like you have like sunglasses, like if you go outside and there's a bit of sun, like you'll put your sunglasses on so your brain is not receiving light from the sun directly, because your eyes are like the window of your, I know, like the windows of your body through which the brain can directly receive sunlight directly inside of it, which can be very activating. Like, for example, since I've dropped my sunglasses and exposed myself willingly to more sunlight during the morning, like, I don't know, like in my early 20s, I had to wear glasses, like, because I was not reading, but I was working on a computer and I had like sight issues, and I had to like I had like, I don't know, like a very light, I don't know, like how you call those metric set glasses. But yeah, like I had like a very light glass, yeah, like glasses to like calibrate my sight so my brain doesn't go as tired so quickly, because it caused me headaches if I was like focusing or watching something very closely for a prolonged period of time. So I heard about like sun gazing and I tried it. And after, I don't know, like half a year or so, I started to like recognize that, hey, like my head starts to hurt if I like use my glasses too much. So I started to like gradually, just as like experiment, like get rid of my glasses. And I discovered that, hey, like my sight really improved and I don't need my glasses anymore. So go sunlight. And also, like, yeah, like if you're struggling with depression or you have like anxiety attacks or mood problems, sunlight is incredibly helpful to like balance it out. And also, of course, like you're receiving a lot of vitamin D naturally. And that's like a huge component that can boost our immune system. Like it's a very vital component to boost your immune system. And also for guys, like to boost your testosterone levels, because if you're not exposing yourself to enough sunlight or fresh air, or don't do enough physical activity, and also with age, your like testosterone levels like go down. And also like for ladies, like you need that testosterone levels to like keep your muscles and bones and like your strength at an optimal level. So it's a very important hormone in our body. And also if your testosterone levels are rising, then that means your stress hormones are going out the window, because like they knock each other out. So yeah, try to expose yourself to as much sunlight as possible in a very responsible way. So don't do it during peak hours. Okay, so that was on the sun. Let's see what else is out there. Okay, so Donna. Hey, hello Donna, thank you for joining. Awesome meditation, infinite love and gratitude. Representing the sacred valley of Golden Disc in southern Colorado. Thank you. In the USA. Lots of rest needed during the Lionsgate portal. Yeah. Okay. And Sarah is from Illinois. Thank you for joining. And Ben is from Germany. That's pretty close. Awesome. Jacqueline, you're from London, UK. Wolf Mother, Jersey girl living in Tennessee. Oh yeah, you have that awesome Tennessee whiskey there. Okay, so Ben, I felt it mostly in my lower chakras. Like energy finally breaking through down there. Felt amazing. Yeah, like a lot of lower chakra activations are also happening. Also in general for like, I don't know, like energy workers, star seeds, or however you want to call yourself. Like we're very much at home with like the higher energy centers, like the heart, throat, third eye, and also the crown chakra. Like that's like very like home territory for us. But like the lower chakras are like we're not as connected to them. Like in some cases they can be also very vulnerable or imbalanced. And I think you can also, I heard it in certain discussions that like certain spiritual teachers can also tend to have like a very unbalanced lower chakra systems because maybe they're not focusing in healing that enough. But yeah, like we need all of them in a proper balance to function properly, basically. But yeah, like all the lower chakras are like representing our more basic functions like survival, I don't know, like reproduction, joy, or willpower. Like I wouldn't say like lower functions, but they're not as high vibrational as like receiving cosmic rays or like seeing in different dimensions. So, but they are also super vital because like they are very heavily influencing how our physical body works and how you feel and how you function in your physical body. So that is a super important fact as well. And also especially if you're like new to whole spiritual stuff, and it seems so amazing to like see in other dimensions and like receive higher vibrational rays from higher realms and all that stuff. But yeah, like do not disconnect from your physical body, or do not disconnect from your physical reality, because like we are here to live in this reality. We are here to function and live in our physical body, and this is at least as much, if maybe not even more important than all the higher aspect stuff, basically. So taking care of your physical body is super, super important. It's almost like, I don't know, like let's associate it, or like take the analogy of a car. Like you know you want to do some amazing stuff, like run at super high speed, or like maybe even break through into another dimension with your car that you just got. But maybe the software and the the knowledge on how to do it is there, but it just simply doesn't work for some reason. And we like stop the car, and you just like get out and like check in what condition the car is in. Then you realize that, hey, like the engine is not okay. Like there are certain types of debris or like gunk stuck in certain parts of the engine. Maybe certain components are broken or are missing, and you have to replace them or fix them in order to function properly. And that's how our physical body works as well. Like our bodies are built to conduct energy. Like that's how we live. Like that's how our body functions. Of course, you can use it for more direct stuff, of course. But yeah, like we were built to conduct and channel energy, however you want to call it. And your body's condition is super important in that, basically. Like your body is the instrument that is like conducting those energies. And if your instrument is like out of tune, or it's broken or damaged, of course it will not be able to function properly. I mean, it will not be able to, of course it doesn't function properly, but it won't be able to conduct those higher vibrational energies in a proper way, or maybe at all, because your body is like intoxicated or damaged to such an extent that it's unable to like shift its vibration voluntarily. It's just like stuck at a very low level because maybe your body is too polluted with certain substances. Maybe you have accumulated a lot of heavy metals in your body. Maybe you were exposing yourself to certain types of vibrations or conditions that has like shifted a bit how your body functions. Or maybe you received some type of damage or accident or trauma that has like recalibrated something on how your body functions. And it can also hinder you in like experiencing the higher realms or receiving very subtle energies, because your body is like unable to do it physically. Okay. So let's see, Jenny. So you can get shungite orgonite to protect you from EMF radiation. That sticks on the back of the cell phone. Oh yeah, like I don't think. Oh, I don't even have my phone with me. Yeah, like I also got. It's a company called Mammon. I think it's in Austria. I'm not sure. It's in Europe, and basically they are like creating technology that takes all the electromagnetic radiation and like flips it around and like brings it back into a natural flow. So it doesn't mean that your devices will not function, but it would like simply neutralize and realign those harmful radiations so your body and life in general around you can function properly. It's very expensive. I only got the stickers that you can like put at the back of your phone, or if you can like take down the casing of the phone, you can like put it on the, it's not called a battery, I think it's battery, yeah, you can put it on the battery, and you have to like put it where you plug in the charger, because I guess like that's where it receives the most of that toxic energy. And yeah, like I also seen some stuff online. I don't know what it's called, so please help me out. Like there's some kind of instrument that like electricians use to like measure tension. I think there are like two little like sticks that like put in something to like measure the tension, the voltage of that specific object or circuit or whatever. And in the video you can clearly see that I don't know, like a guy just like grabs all those two little, I don't know, like sticks or something, and like the meter like goes up to a certain level, which is like the normal tension of our body. And then the guy plugs in the smartphone, and while the phone is charging with connected to the electric grid, he takes it in his hand, and like the tension in his body like rises 5 times higher. So it rises 5 times above the safe levels of you functioning energetically. So that's how unhealthy it is to like I don't know, like meddle with your phone while it's charging. So, and also like if you don't have to, especially when you're sleeping, like try to keep it away from you as much as you can, because it's like constantly like sending out signals. It's like if you're going to sleep or just want to rest, like turn off Wi-Fi. Like if you're not expecting some call or something important to happen, like put it in airplane mode, like turn off stuff in it, and just like simply, I don't know, like put it away or put it out of arm's reach. So it's like 1 or 2 meters away from you, especially if you want to sleep properly. I know like some people like these measurement stuff. They, hey, like you can put your phone under your pillow and it will like measure your sleep. I think it's like the biggest, I don't know, like stupidest thing ever. Like it will like directly like bombard your brain with those damaging energies and will like not let you sleep properly. And also I know like there are like these smart watches. I don't have them, like I don't want to have them, and I don't fully understand how it works. I know like they're connected to, you can connect it to your phone, so I guess it goes through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, I'm not sure. But also what I would say against those specific devices is that, of course, it's transmitting a lot of radiation. It is receiving a lot of signals, and it's also sending out a lot of signals. I know that some people prefer to like measure their biometrics through it, but like really, is that important? Like if you like go into like more deeply like what is happening in your body while you have the damn thing like attached to your wrist, like in these areas, I guess like if anyone's heard about like Eastern medicine, like acupuncture and the meridian system, like in these regions, like all the meridian lines that are like coming here up are influencing like everything that is in your chest, like diaphragm above. So everything that you put on here will influence your heart, your lungs, your throat, thyroid, like everything that is in your chest. So you're receiving all those Wi-Fi signals, Bluetooth and bullshit into your hand and going directly into your heart, basically, which will influence how it functions. And also, don't put your phone in your pocket here in your chest. Like I've seen it for, especially with my older people, and they have like heart issues. And when I see like, oh my God, like what are you doing? And yeah, like they say like, oh, I don't feel so well. And I'm not sure why I feel so badly, or I'm very dizzy. And like, get the damn phone out of your pocket. Like it's directly like interfacing with your body. It's like directly going into your heart and lungs, all that radiation. I also know that, especially I know it from my moms and grandmothers and all the more elderly generations. Like they always have like everything turned on their phones. So they have Wi-Fi, GPS, mobile data, like everything is like turned on that damn phone. And like they put it here next to their heart. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh well. But now you know, so please don't put it close to your body. Only if you like really have to. Okay. So Ben, yep, it's like characters from my past talking to my current situation. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Yes. Okay. Yes, and Sarah, waking up and my whole body is pulsating during the night. Yep. And I know, like, if anyone else is like experiencing like muscle spasms, like your muscles like contracting in certain parts in your body, but like very isolated muscles, like not your entire arm. I don't know, maybe just like the biceps or one of the pecs or something. It just like, or maybe it happens in the eye, although I didn't have that for years, but some people do experience that. And also what I've been experiencing very intensely, it's very strange, like whenever I wake up and I like come back to like full awareness, I have this like strange sound in my ear, like this very, very deep tone or something. I don't know what to even call it. It's almost like when you're like deep underwater and you feel that like very deep like echo or like that compacting noise or something. And this has been happening for the past 2 weeks as well. Okay, so let's see what else is happening in the chat. Okay, so Coco. For me, I find that it's been a lot of mental activities that occur. It's been a lot, and some of it feels negative, which I haven't experienced in some time. Yeah, for me also, like some very random and weird stuff just all of a sudden coming into my mind, or just my field of perception, like not just necessarily into my thoughts, but just simply like popping up in my life. Maybe just someone brings up a specific topic that I haven't addressed for some time or didn't want to address at all. And yeah, like not all of it is pleasant. And yeah, I also heard that like not everyone, but some people are experiencing some very negative things during the night. Like when they sleep, like it's enough that you have like a restless night's sleep, which can expose you to, I don't know, like lower your vibration and like have some unpleasant experiences. But just in general, some very dark stuff like here and there are coming up. Like I don't necessarily think it's for the purpose of like, oh, like it is getting stronger, or it is like trying to get close to you or into your life. It's more like it is leaving, and like we had to let it go, or like consciously make a decision that, okay, like I don't want any of that in my life, and consciously reject all that crap, all that dark regressive stuff, because we have a lot of it in the world. Although a great deal has been cleared already and healed already, so we are doing exceptionally well. We are on a very good timeline, people, so don't panic. I know like in the news and like in the outside world, it may seem that like shit is going down, which is going down, but like most of it is just for show, kind of. Like it's there to like wake people up and like assist us in our evolution, because like on the higher realms and in the, I don't know how to say, like in the background where things actually happened, like all of this has already went down. So everything is already set. We just have to like work the details out, and like we have to tie up all the loose ends, because even though like on the energetic plane, like we have already shifted, like we are already receiving like the higher earth or new earth codes, and also like with 1 foot we're already there, but at the same time we're also seeing and also can experience the density and negativity of the old earth or the dense earth. Hello Tamara, thank you for joining. And yeah, like it's a transitional period, and I think this will last for a few years. I think it will subside, like it will not be as intense, because like working through the most densest stuff can be very intense, and we've been doing that for the past 4 years or so. But now we're moving, I mean, it's not as heavy. I mean, energetically it feels very heavy, but in general, like we're in a far more better position than we were like 3 years ago. So we're going in a good direction. It can feel very heavy, because I think like we're entering in a phase, or we're already in a phase, well, like all that darkness that we're like people consciously rejecting, or at least like ignoring, like turning their backs to. Like I don't want to deal with that. I don't even want to know. I don't want to look at it, and I just want to live my life and completely ignore all these horrible things that I coexist with on planet Earth, basically. And most of the population would consciously, willfully turn their backs to all that dark stuff that was lurking in the background, that were like hiding in the shadows. And now, since we're moving on to a higher timeline, we're receiving a lot of high vibrational rays, and all that dense shit can no longer hide in the shadows, because the shadows are going away. I mean, we're still going to have polarity, and like we're still going to have I don't like, I wouldn't say darkness, like that's like a very extreme, but like the other opposite side of the light, let's say that's a contrast to the light. We're still going to experience polarity, but in a far more balanced way. But so far, we had a very, very predominantly unbalanced life here on planet Earth collectively, because like things that were hiding in the shadows were manipulating and constructing stuff and influencing our lives on a collective level. But in the past 4 years, like all these energies were coming to the surface to be transmuted, to be, I don't know, like expelled from our system. Like some of those energies that were like causing all the horrific stuff on planet Earth for the past few thousand years, some of them actually healed, like some of them left, and some of them were removed. And some of them are still here because like they have stuff to do, like things to work out. But mainly like what you see now in the world are only, I don't know, like the representatives of those specific dense and very dark energies. I think like how I see it, like the core and the brains of those dark operations and beings are no longer here, or they're unable to do anything as they have been able to do in the past. And the only thing that you have left is like the minions and the little robot people who are still doing and fulfilling their programming, basically, because like they have been programmed and conditioned to fulfill this type of purpose since their birth, or even before that. And people are just running on their programming, and we have to overcome that as well, because it can be very dangerous. Like if you have psychopaths running around and doing stuff, that can be very dangerous. So we have to deal with that. And also, on the other hand, like we also have a lot of programming in ourselves as well, like limiting belief systems. We have a lot of trauma in our body. We had a lot of traumatic experiences, and we have to work through all that dense stuff. And basically we are entering, or we are already in a phase where we are very much going to focus on that. And as I see it, and what I'm seeing so far, like also globally, things will shift in order to allow us to go more inward, if that is something you choose to do, or at least allow us to focus more on ourselves. Because right now, and also, I mean, yeah, right now, like majority of the population is in survival mode. And this is how the entire system is built, basically, that you're constantly kept busy, kept distracted. You're constantly on like survival mode that, oh my God, I have to pay my bills, or I won't have, or I have to pay my mortgage or whatever. Like there are millions of ways on like how we are being limited, on like being completely distracted or like stuck in a loop. Yeah, and it's very difficult to get out of that, but that is changing, and it will be changing, so we will be able to focus more on joy, collaboration, being ourselves, and for the first time actually discovering like who the fuck are we. I'm like, sorry, but yeah, like the majority of people don't even know who they are or what they even want in life. Like the majority of people only know who they should be from the perspective of other people, or who they should become because other people are reflecting that to them, or other people are expecting them to be a certain way, and they have no clue who they are, or they don't even have any clue what they actually want in their own life. I mean, of course you have all these goals, like these materialistic goals that like society is like bombarding and conditioning us with, like you need X, Y, and Z in life to be happy or to be considered successful. And some people, maybe many people, achieve those successes to a certain extent just to realize that it doesn't make you happy at all. So it's not very fulfilling. So finally we will have the choice and also the opportunity to focus more on what we actually want in life and who the F we are, basically, because it's a very complex topic. Okay. Oh, I see. Donna has written a question. good old water. Okay, so Donna, does having your bed grounded when you're sleeping helps with EMFs? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it was Jenny or Donna, like you shared the grounding or earthing mat. It's like, but the problem with that is that I think it has to like connect with your skin in order to function properly. But yeah, I think it would definitely help. Like what I would try out is like I live in a house and I have a beautiful yard around me. I would like try to, I don't know, like which type of wire is like conducts electricity properly. I don't know. I think it's brass. I think that's the best conductor. Like do a little like loop or something around your toes or something with that brass and like lead it out the window and like down into the ground and like tie it to a little pin or like a larger pin and just like slam it into the ground. So it like you physically are connecting with the ground outside, because like that wire will conduct that tension from your body and ground it down outside with the earth. So you could try that maybe. I'm not sure like who shared their feedback on grounding mats or beds that are assist you with grounding, because like that, I think it's this that mat is like made out of some kind of electricity conductive surface. I don't know, like tin foil or something like that, which is not very pleasant to, I don't know, like have your bare skin on it, basically. Like you can, especially if it's like warm or cold, it can be very uncomfortable. And if you like put the sheet over, then it basically like acts as like an insulation between you and the grounding surface. So not sure, like I use my orgonites to try to ground. Okay. Okay, so Ben Luminous, I had a day when I wrapped myself in tin foil. No kidding, it helped. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, like locking out the unpleasant energies. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining today's live event. Next week, we are also going to do some kind of meditation. I don't know yet which one, but we will see. And also, yeah, we're in August. In like 2 weeks, expect we're going to do another live channeling session. And we also still have to do one for the Australian team, although I have no clue at which date right now. So our live channeling sessions will be on Zoom. It's a private group, basically. I will be sharing a link on the community section for which you can join the group in Zoom. And it will be private. It will not be broadcast. It will not be recorded. So you can show yourself. You can let yourself be heard. And in during the channeling state, I will go into a deeper state of trance, and I will bring through my guides so you can work with them, ask them questions directly, and they will give you some very, very interesting insights. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow, yeah, copper. I think copper is like one of the best conductors, or no, like silver is the best conductor for electricity, but that's very expensive. And like copper is also kind of expensive, but in general, like that's what we use in electric cables, I think. Yes, and Ben, I might actually join a monastery and be a monk. Yeah, I was also considering that at a certain point in my life. Yeah, but that also imposes other types of limitations as well, so be careful what you do. So Christina had someone a complete Kundalini awakening the last years. Yeah, it can happen, especially in these times. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining, for being here, for all your awesome interactions, questions, for everything, and also just simply your presence. And also if you're watching the replay, thank you very much for watching it to the end. I see Mother Earth, Wolf Mother has a question. put copper in the ground outside to help ground inside. Yeah, I haven't tried it out myself. Like, check out the documentary. I think it's called Earthing, but I'm going to check it out right now so I don't say something stupid. I think it's called Earthing documentary. Let me see. Yeah, I totally found it. So it's called The Earthing Movie, a remarkable science of grounding. Yeah, like you can find it as a full documentary on YouTube and you can watch it for free. Yeah, I'm putting the title in the chat right now. And that's where I heard about that specific technique. Like, that's how all the grounding mats and devices started to develop. So check out The Earthing Movie, The Remarkable Science of Grounding. Yeah, it's a really cool movie. And it also has like a lot of research-based stuff in it. Like, they're medically investigating of like what's happening in the body. Yeah, like I can also show you guys. So if anyone is still here and still watching, I'm going to show you some stuff from the documentary. So they're also like showing you like what's happening in the body. So basically, whoops, sorry about that. So basically, one of them shows you before grounding, like the upper, I don't think you can see my mouse, but yeah, like the upper images are like before grounding and like the lower images are after grounding. So all the tension and inflammation from the body started to like go out and like be neutralized. And I also know like there are like some sport experts, like this is the feet, this is the back. Oh, it's like jumping all around. So yeah, like also some sports expert people are like talking about like how they're using these earthing techniques with like athletes or like people who have to do like high performance physically. They like I don't know, like walk bare feet for like 10 minutes and like it drastically reduces inflammation in their physical body. So check it out. It's a super interesting documentary. Okay, I hope we have shared some useful stuff today as well. And again, if you're still watching and still watching the replay, I'm sending you much love. Thank you everyone for joining.